Nature does not always give people enough time to be afraid. Sometimes it arrives on what seems like an ordinary morning. Sometimes the very first sign is also the moment when it is already too late. They did not enter those places expecting to face death. They were simply living, working, and traveling, until nature changed faster than humans could escape. In southwest Florida, Fort Myers, Sanibel Island, and Pine Island were known for blue water, warm sunlight, and the quiet rhythm of life along the coast. But September 28, 2022 became a defining moment. Ian made landfall near Cayo Costa as a Category 4 hurricane, carrying winds of about 150 miles per hour and pushing storm surge deep inland. Cameras captured the moment seawater first crept across the streets, then quickly turned into a violent flood, swallowing roads and tearing through entire communities. Fort Myers Beach, Sanibel, and Pine Island were heavily damaged. Millions lost power, and many neighborhoods were cut off from the outside world. As soon as the storm passed, thousands of rescue workers and volunteers moved into a day and night operation, searching for trapped residents and clearing away the wreckage. Experts believe the unusually warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico helped fuel Ian's rapid intensification, turning it into an extremely dangerous storm. Off the coast of New Zealand, Whakaari does not attract visitors with tranquility. Instead, it draws them in with the rare opportunity to get close to an active volcano. The continuous plumes of white steam rising from the ground are evidence that this island has never truly fallen asleep. On December 9, 2019, approximately 47 tourists were still on the island. They had come to witness the raw power of nature and had no idea they would soon be running from it. Then, at 2:11 p.m., Whakaari erupted. Six, steam, superheated gases, ash, and rocks blasted from the crater, sweeping across the area where visitors had been standing moments earlier. The explosion within the volcano opened new vents, and triggered landslides throughout the crater region. 22 people lost their lives. The remaining 25 were injured, most of them critically. According to scientific studies and official reports, this was a phreatic eruption. Groundwater came into contact with extremely hot volcanic material beneath the surface, creating enormous steam pressure that exploded with little to no clear warning signs beforehand. Leaving behind the explosive violence of Whakaari, the danger in Cameroon did not arrive in the form of fire, ash, or smoke. Lake Nyos rested quietly among green hills, near villages that had lived beside its waters for generations. No one looking at the lake would have imagined that something capable of devastating an entire valley was accumulating beneath its surface. On August 21st, 1986, one of the strangest natural disasters in recorded history occurred at Lake Nyos in Cameroon. From the bottom of this volcanic lake, approximately 1.6 million tons of carbon dioxide suddenly surged to the surface in a rare phenomenon known as a limnic eruption. Colorless, odorless, and heavier than air, the cloud of carbon dioxide rapidly flowed downhill into the surrounding valleys and villages. Within just a few hours, about 1,746 people and more than 3,000 livestock animals suffocated. Many victims were found in their beds or inside their homes, showing no signs of struggle or physical injury. Scientists determined that carbon dioxide had accumulated under high pressure at the bottom of the lake for many years. The release was likely triggered by a landslide, a minor earthquake, or volcanic activity, causing the entire volume of gas to escape at once. The Lake Nyos disaster prompted international research programs aimed at preventing similar limnic eruptions. Degassing systems were installed at both Lake Nyos and the nearby Lake Manoon, and no major incidents have occurred since. Lake Nyos took away the one thing people always believed would still be there: the air to breathe. In Indonesia, the sea once again became the perfect trap. On the night of December 22nd, 2018, beaches along the Indonesian coast were still filled with tourists, and nearby communities continued their normal lives beside the water. Offshore, Anak Krakatau was erupting in the darkness. Then part of the volcano's flank suddenly collapsed into the sea. The massive landslide displaced the water and sent a tsunami surging across the Sunda Strait. Coastal cameras captured the terrifying moment when waves suddenly slammed into resorts and streets during the night. The tsunami swept away vehicles, homes, and anything built too close to the shoreline. More than 437 people died, and thousands were injured. Experts later determined that the tsunami was not caused by an undersea earthquake, but by the collapse of the volcanic island itself. Because of that, the coast received almost none of the warning signs people had learned to expect before a typical tsunami. The victims did not ignore an alarm. That night, the familiar warning simply never came. After the tsunami in the Sunda Strait, we leave the ocean behind and travel to a small village at the foot of the Alps. In Chamosun, Switzerland, everything seemed peaceful. Houses sat along the mountainside. Narrow roads wound through the valley, and in the center of the village, a small stream flowed as it had for many years. But after heavy rainfall, a powerful mud flow surged down the stream and into the village. Videos recorded by witnesses and shared on social media showed mud and debris splashing onto a bridge while the torrent rushed violently beneath it. Despite its tremendous destructive power and the severe damage it caused to homes and vehicles, no fatalities were reported. The event left behind a memorable reminder. In the mountains, danger does not always come from the sea or from volcanoes. Sometimes, all it takes is enough rain for a gentle stream to become a pathway of destruction. And in the next story, it will not be mud or rock that comes crashing down. It will be ice. In July 2017, the Antarctic landscape was dramatically altered by a colossal event, the birth of Iceberg, A68. Triggered by a massive crack that rapidly expanded across the Larsen Sea ice shelf, this 1 trillion-ton block of ice broke away from the continent. Covering an area roughly 4 times the size of London, it immediately captured global attention. As it drifted into the open ocean, the iceberg became a solitary giant wandering across the Southern Ocean. The event sparked intense debate, ranging from concerns about the structural stability of ice shelves to arguments that such calving events are part of a natural cycle. Scientists quickly began tracking the iceberg's every movement using satellite technology. Their conclusion was clear. While iceberg calving is a natural process, the rate at which A68 deteriorated was closely linked to our warming climate. Over time, the giant iceberg fractured into smaller pieces and gradually melted away as it traveled through warmer waters. In the end, A68 was more than just a natural wonder. It became a powerful reminder of how fragile the frozen frontiers of our planet truly are. Aurora Borealis, commonly known as the Northern Lights, is one of nature's most spectacular light displays. It is most often seen in regions surrounding Earth's magnetic poles, including Greenland, Canada, Alaska, Iceland, Sweden, Finland, and Norway. Brilliant ribbons of light ripple across the night sky in shades of green, blue, pink, and violet, creating what appears to be a cosmic ballet above the horizon. For centuries, the ever-changing appearance of these glowing waves inspired countless myths and legends, leading many cultures to associate them with spirits, magic, and supernatural forces of the Arctic. Seeking to uncover the truth behind the phenomenon, scientists and astronomers conducted extensive observations from remote locations free from artificial light pollution. Their research revealed a precise scientific explanation. The aurora is triggered by highly charged particles released by the sun. As these particles approach Earth, our planet's magnetic field acts like a protective shield, bending their paths and guiding them toward the polar regions. There, the particles collide with atoms and molecules in the atmosphere, primarily oxygen and nitrogen. These collisions excite the gases, causing them to emit the colorful lights that shimmer, dance, and continuously change shape across the sky. The best time to witness the northern lights is typically between September and April, when long nights provide optimal viewing conditions. Some of the most sought-after destinations include the remote landscapes of Greenland, the snow-covered wilderness of Lapland, and the deep northern fjords of Norway. In the end, the Northern Lights are more than a remarkable astronomical phenomenon. They are a priceless masterpiece of nature, a breathtaking experience that every traveler should witness at least once in a lifetime. Deep within the humid tropical rainforests of Southeast Asia lives a tiny creature that can easily be mistaken for a flower drifting among the leaves. The orchid mantis, Hymenopus coronatus. What makes this species extraordinary is not its size, but its almost unreal appearance. With a pink and white body and legs spread wide like flower petals, its gentle movements make it resemble a living orchid. But this beauty wasn't designed to be admired. It is a trap. When insects approach, believing they have found a flower, the orchid mantis strikes instantly with its sharp, powerful forelegs. This remarkable camouflage has made it famous among insect enthusiasts and one of the most sought-after mantis species in the exotic insect hobby. From a scientific perspective, its colors and shape are the result of evolutionary adaptations to life in tropical forests. Female orchid mantises can grow to around 6 centimeters in length, significantly larger than males, which typically reach only about 3 centimeters. Males develop more quickly and have much shorter lifespans, while females require more time to mature. This extreme difference between the sexes makes breeding the species considerably more challenging than breeding many other mantises. The orchid mantis is a reminder that some of nature's most beautiful creations are also among its most effective predators. In the rainforest, survival often depends not on strength or speed, but on the ability to become something else entirely. Victoria Falls lies on the border between Zambia and Zimbabwe, where the mighty Zambezi River, Africa's 4th longest river, plunges over a cliff to create one of the most spectacular waterfalls on Earth. Victoria Falls is more than just a waterfall. It is a colossal wall of water stretching across the landscape like the largest white curtain on the planet. The local people call it Mosi Oatunya, and anyone standing near the edge quickly understands why. From upstream, the Zambezi rushes forward before suddenly dropping into the abyss, exploding into millions of tiny droplets. The resulting mist rises like smoke, climbing so high that it can be seen from dozens of kilometers away. But what visitors remember most is not only the sight. It is the sound. A deep, continuous roar echoes through the landscape, as if thunder itself were rumbling from beneath the earth. Every second, nearly 260,000 gallons of water plunge into the gorge, creating a display of power that is relentless, violent, and almost never-ending. Amid the surrounding savanna, this constant spray sustains a lush patch of rainforest, forming a hidden world behind the waterfall's thunder. Biologists believe this mist-fed forest shelters a delicate yet remarkably unique ecosystem. Within the soaked canopy and across moss-covered branches, rare plants and vibrant butterfly populations continue to thrive. They are like small biological treasures, protected not by walls or fences, but by the veil of moisture that forever hangs in the air around Victoria Falls. Here, water does more than carve the landscape. It creates an entire living world sustained by the endless breath of the falls. After everything we have seen, these moments remind us that Earth is never truly still. It can erupt with fire, darken the sky, bring water back to dry land, break apart walls of ice, and cover the ground with life in ways no one expects. The camera has captured only a small fraction of it. If you want to keep exploring the most unbelievable natural phenomena on Earth, subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next journey.